Yeah, what in the world? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ruins of Bazagon. I am your Dungeon Master, Esper, and I'm happy to be back gaming with Nerdarchy. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and your characters real quick?
All right, I guess I'll start off. I am Nerdarchy Ted from Nerdarchy 4 Nerds by Nerds, and I will be playing Veraxion of House Eraethian, a tiefling rogue swashbuckler.
I am Nerdarchy Dave, and you don't actually know who I'm playing yet because I'm not here. I perished. Grungle Firebeard perished last time. So we'll be coming back with a new character that will be introduced later.
I am Megan, with not a Nerdarchy in front of my title. And I am Renn, the changeling druid, who is maybe a little less hippie-ish and a little more stressed than she has been in the past.
I wonder why that might be. So you all are currently in Bazagon, the city of mazes. And one of those mazes is known as the Maze of Fire and Rust. And you went into this maze to seek out the lair, the hideout of House Dextraxi, a rival tiefling house of Veers. And there was a brutal struggle. It was a pretty difficult fight. You all slew a couple of their numbers, and they slew a couple of your numbers. And it got very gritty and down to the wire. And in the end, Renn and Veer fled. You tactically retreated pretty close to your own demise. Now, the three main members of House Dextraxi that you were fighting, that are your foes, are siblings, actually. A sister and two brothers. And you wounded them quite a bit. So it really did come down to the wire, but in the end, it was better to flee than face probable doom.
It was, I think, a little bit more probable. I think both Renn and I were, out of abilities, nearly out of hit points, and outnumbered to boot. It was definitely a dangerous situation.
Very dangerous indeed. And in fact, you're still poisoned. You were shot with some kind of poisoned crossbow bolt by Boragrix, their rogue, their assassin, their scoundrelly one. Now, did I give out milestones at the end of last session? Do you guys happen to remember?
I honestly
don't,
and I've.
If I didn't, Renn and Veer have each achieved 2 milestones. So we can figure that out off screen if need be. But why don't we zoom in on Veer and Renn? And you, I have just completely shared the wrong thing. Okay, why don't we zoom in? Why don't we zoom in? I hope no one actually caught that. Why don't we zoom in on Veer and Renn as you drag yourselves out of the Dextraxi hideout here in the Maze of Fire and Rust. You both are under the effects of Renn's passed out trace, so you're getting a +10 bonus to stealth, and Veer, you are poisoned.
So, is it worthwhile to hide amongst the rubble and attempt to recoup ourselves a little bit, or do we chance crossing that stream to then be able to try and make our way back to town to seek out new allies?
We need new allies. We can't do this on our own. But you're weak and I'm weak. I don't know if we can take any other hits, even if we could just take an hour to regroup and get some energy, and then perhaps head out.
So the little alcove off to, I guess, our left, where the giant centipede-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, to the character's left, the other side.
Mhm.
You know,
So we
he
could say
went off.
we could say to the east if that makes it easy.
Okay, yes, to the east. If we were to go in there, you'd be able to, hole up for excuse me, for an hour, and get a short rest.
The two of you take a look. The last that you saw of the monstrous centipede vermin went scuttling this way, and there's like a den that actually goes down tunnel-like. It was wounded in the fight. You're not seeing it immediately. You look this way, we'll say to the east, and there is a large collapsed section of structure, perhaps building or just thick wall of labyrinth. You can't see over it from where you are, but perhaps it would be a place you could go to find shelter or barricade or some kind of hiding spot.
I would certainly like to, either, investigate or look around and try and find out if there's anywhere that we could hide in there. I mean, we have the magic of Renn's spell to kind of help aid us.
Mm-hmm.
But that will fade if we rest, just because time-wise.
Well,
Yep.
It lasts an hour, though, right?
Yeah.
So it'll basically, it'll end just before our hour is up. So
Yeah.
we're only relying on, that last couple of minutes of stealth. So
Okay. Veer, you have large chunks of rubble, smashed, fallen, and cracked stone blocks of various sizes. They go up, much higher than you are tall, maybe 10 to 15 feet, roughly speaking, approximating things. You could climb it, or maybe you have a different idea of some kind.
I was thinking, just, if there's enough of smaller chunks, it's probably not going to be super comfortable. But if we could just build like a small nest and just kind of hunker down in the rocks, see if we might be able to breathe through this this poison, rest off, some of this battle weariness.
Okay, so your idea is to really not go too far, but rather surround yourself by the rubble to create a little barricade to stay out of sight.
Yes.
I think it's a smart idea.
Okay. The two of you do so, gathering about you whatever pieces of stone are at hand, and you can actually scoot them or slide them about. And there you are, breathing, catching your breath, and waiting. Why don't the two of you go ahead and make stealth checks? I think that's a good thing to call for what you're doing here. Don't forget you have plus 10 from Pass Without Trace.
We have plus 10, but I am at disadvantage still, correct?
That is true. You are disadvantaged due to the woozy.
So a 10 and a 16 on the die makes that a 26.
I got a 13 on a die with a plus. I mean, I'm not a 13. I got a natural 1 plus 2, and then plus that, I got a 13.
You come up with a 13.
So.
Okay. And I'm rolling the roll of rolls. There is a sound of footsteps, boots. They get closer. You hear low whispers, tiefling guardsmen speaking to each other. They're not super close. It's difficult to make it out, but it seems obvious that they're looking. After a tense moment, the boots go away. The footsteps fade. They must not have stuck around for more than but a moment.
Cursory glance.
An hour passes, and you all have recouped to whatever degree. The poison fades as the Pass Without Trace begins to fade as well. Do you have hit dice that you want to spend?
Oh,
Yes, I do.
All right.
Let's see here. Plus 1. Alright, so I will be spending all of my remaining hit dice.
All 4?
I had 1 use, so I'll be spending 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing all probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
And don't forget to include your Constitution modifier for each hit die.
But I am now fully healed, so
Veraxion, you feel much better. Maybe not great, but noticeably improved.
there's a crick in my spine from where that rock, was digging in, especially during those tense moments while that scout was looking at us. But had to breathe through it, considering literally our lives were on the line.
They were just.
And
Go ahead.
now we just have this perilous journey across this possibly infested water.
Well, the good thing is that rest, it kind of got me back into form a little bit. I can carry you over. Remember when and she kind of hesitates as she doesn't want to mention the fallen companion's name, but on the back of the crocodile, I can do that again if need be.
Well, I am feeling pretty spry myself, and I was able to cross pretty darn quick. So I would rather us both move as fast as possible, rather than have you slowed down by trying to bring me along.
That is very noble for a noble.
Yeah, well, again, I'll say I don't think I'm quite noble anymore. Last of my house, and even the last of my my I dare call them servants, but underlings have perished before me.
Well, all I know is those others I think are nobles, and you're way better than they are, and you're not trying to kill me. So that puts you above the other tiefling nobles I know.
Well, I thank you very much for that.
All right, so you have an idea to quickly swim back across the moat of murky water. Is that your only idea, or is there maybe something else that you are curious about or that you might want to try?
I am all for the tried and true. We were able to get across without injury or issue last time, and I am willing to willing to use that tried and true.
I'm kind of the same way. We just gotta hurry and do it.
Okay. Renn, are you taking on an animal shape?
I'm probably gonna hold back for now, just because if we can move quickly, I have decent speed. We can kind of do this.
Okay.
So I would imagine
So you approach the ledge with a stream that appears to flow through some section of the maze of fire and rust. The water, murky, a bit mucky. It doesn't smell so terrible. You don't think this is sewer water or anything, but maybe not water you would want to drink. It flows with a light current, not rushing by any degree. You creep there. Do you just leap in?
Veraxion Veer, if you will, he's pretty nimble, pretty dexterous, and he can move fast when he needs to. So I can move 90 and around, and it doesn't look like it's more than 30 across. So even if it's difficult terrain,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be able to get across in essentially a matter of seconds.
Yeah, you are very fast. All right, Renn, Veer, jumping in.
Uh, going with as much haste as possible. Just charging forward.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a running long jump will get you like 10 feet out, something like that.
That works.
All right. You run, jump, sploosh, into the water. And I need you both to roll initiative checks.
Oh no. Okay.
All right. Who's got highest?
18.
All right.
8.
Okay. All right. Veer, you indeed are a quick one. What do you do?
Charging forward. Not trying to fight the current, but moving along with it at an angle, so that I get across as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Give me an athletics check.
And I'm no longer poisoned.
You are no longer poisoned.
That is going to be a 13.
Excellent. That's fine. A light current, and you swim out. Pull yourself out up the slope onto the other side, onto hard, solid ground. You probably still have your action.
Could I perceive to see if there's anything moving around besides Renn?
Yeah, most definitely. I'd say you probably used your cunning action to dash, but you can use
Right,
the action
yeah.
for perception. Go for it.
The water is too murky and moving too much. That is a 5.
You don't see anything, though what you do not see quickly closes in on Renn. A shape in the water, slithering, undulating. And there is a jolt. It fills your body, electrifying your nerves, Renn. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Um, 12. My dice rolling has not been what calls great.
It nearly overwhelms you, and you, through the last fiber of all the toughness you have, stave off the worst of whatever this was. It makes your heart, leap almost like these intense palpitations, but you maintain control. There's something in here with you, and it's tried to just jolt you out of your senses. What do you do?
I try to get out of there and swim and get to the shore as fast as I can.
All right.
I don't have. Okay, so can I get there? Yeah.
Make an athletics check. This is gonna let us know how well or not well you're swimming.
15.
15. All right, here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40. You climb up out in a dash. Both of you, sopping wet, have pulled yourselves onto the other side, alive and still unsure of what exactly is lurking there in that moat.
So I imagine I saw the Renn's body kind of vibrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you well? What transpired?
Just something under there, and there was like a bolt, and I'm saying I'm okay. Like I feel okay, but yeah, we need to move really fast and away from here.
Agreed.
And so the two of you waste no time and speed off back into the passageways of the maze of fire and rust. There we go. I will award you each a half milestone. Well done. You travel for a time. The passageways of the maze are a stone that is at times charred or blackened in color. Some sections of wall actually look to be fashioned, they are fashioned out of sheets of metal, old oxidized iron. Whoever put this together had access to large heaps of slag and maybe smelt works. Other sections are stone, but everywhere that you go, there's this haze, a smokiness that pricks at the back of your nostrils. And here and there, you see rusted spikes jutting out of the wall. Down one section, it's actually a covered tunnel. You see there are these spiky things jutting down from the ceiling, and there is actually a skeleton like up in those spikes, as if it got lifted or smashed it up into. You don't know. Some poor soul who did not survive their expedition into this labyrinth. And well, you know one way to get back the way you came, which would be the Fountain of Kyrios. This is in this ruined section of an old tiefling neighborhood. But is that the way that you want to go?
What would I know of the best place to, essentially bring on, some further assistance here? I am proficient in history, having been a noble, I guess you could say.
Okay. Well, there's a couple ideas that come to your mind. If you did not want to backtrack to, it would be the ruins of High Tables, where you met with Lulia Stravasa and some other assorted tieflings living in the abandoned and ruined once noble district. You immediately would think of other locations, such as the Grand Colosseum. Here, a number of different competitors are drawn to the heart of Bazagon City. Some of them are titled competitors, such as what you all were until you ascended in caste and became free citizens, tradesmen, explorers, nobles, perhaps. Though others that compete here are in not such good standings, and they are little more than pit fighters that live in the barracks. Not far from there is Corrado, a massive common district that houses a number of different peoples that have came to Bazagon, migrated throughout waves of migration throughout the centuries even. Surely in Corrado, you would be able to come across other delvers, treasure hunters, mercenaries, hired blades. And New Starbreeze as well is where this adventure, this particular one that we are on right now, began. And you know there are a number of refugees coming here from that have come here from Magnaland. There must be someone of talent there, or maybe even someone desperate enough to join up in these adventures you're taking on.
So, looking at my coin pouch and knowing that I don't have much, so I've got to try and find somebody or somebodies who are willing to work for the adventure or the things that are found therein, because like I said, my coin purse is light.
Let me ask you this then. Let's just keep this a little bit more simple or limited to your next step. Do you feel that it's best to backtrack to the ruins of High Table, or do you think it's best to start making your way back to New Starbreeze, where this all began?
I think possibly Starbreeze, if just getting a night's rest to get spells back, and everything else, and then finding somebody to help from there might be the best idea.
Okay. So this is the way that you initially entered into the Maze of Fire and Rust was coming. I hope you all can see. Hope you all can see my pointer from here to Aruda to the ruined Vixfoy Hall here. Yeah, this was your pathway. So you have trekked it at least once before. It's not 100% foreign to you, though it is confusing and there is danger. It is a maze after all, a labyrinth. Though, as fate would have it, you do come across something unexpected. Wearied, you pause at a overhanging section to get some shade from the glaring sun and the heat of the day. When you notice on the wall there some manner of lever. You wouldn't have noticed it in passing. You've seen something like this, or maybe heard of it in tales. Maybe it opens up a secret passageway.
Could I investigate?
It could lead to danger. It could lead to concealed treasure. It could lead to a sub-dungeon. There's many levels to Bazagon City.
Could I check it for traps? See if there's anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'll
give me an investigation check.
Okay.
So that is going to be 18.
Well, this is a pretty well-crafted mechanism here, though it does not look to be trapped. Unlike most sections of the maze, it's not old, oxidized, something from a prior era. This has been constructed within a number of some years. Good, strong steel, unblemished. Someone constructed this in the present era.
What do you say, Renn? Is this worth the diversion?
I think it could be. I mean, I'm trusting your judgment. I'd like to also do, along with the investigation, I'd like to do a perception check for anything we might hear, or anything like that around us, just something of that nature. Or would the investigation check have covered that for him?
Go ahead and do perception. Maybe you could get something different with that.
Okay.
You listen.
Um, 22.
Okay. And I will respond to your roll with a roll of my own. And that will be followed by yet another roll. Which that means it's always really nice. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay. So, you hear a sound on the other side of the wall. What you're seeing here for a wall is a just, big blocky slabs of stone. Some have, greasy scorch marks on them. Others are just kind of like old, dusty, almost concrete-like. On the other side of that, on the other side of where looks like the lever would open up, as you put your ear to it, you hear a scritch, 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 scritch.
Okay.
Is it a sound that you can identify?
Yeah. Would a nature check or anything like that kind of...
Go for it.
Okay. Let me... 18.
Okay, well, it's not the call of any animal. It sounds like something eating. It sounds like something small. Reminds you a little bit of the sound that, like maybe I'm sure you've heard this many times. Squirrels in the splintwood gnawing on acorns. It sounds like that.
Just bigger.
Would it sound bigger than a squirrel? That's a good question.
Small. Okay. It sounds like something small gnawing and nibbling.
Okay, there's something in there.
It reminds you of a squirrel. That's what you think of.
It kind of sounds like a squirrel gnawing, although I don't think a squirrel would be in there eating.
Well, if it's merely a squirrel or something that size, how dangerous could it be? Pull a lever.
The slab sinks just to the side of where the lever is affixed into this alcove off of the passageway that you've been tricksing along. The dust quickly settles, and you see a dim inner chamber, not large, no more than 20 feet on a side. One of the corners, however, has been dug or burrowed through, and you see on the ground a number of dead or fallen things. The first thing that you see looks like some boots, like boots from a suit of heavy armored boots, and there's even like bits of leg or shin, like greaves coming off of them, and then a pile of rust. And then you see next to that is a dead creature, medium-sized, monstrous thing, has chitinous plates, long, multi-frilled antennae, and next to that is a creature lying on the ground, which is humanoid in shape, though is clearly a construct of fibrous materials bound together, plated with bits of steel and stone, and it is holding a... What kind of weapon, Dave? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I'm muted. Battle axe.
It is holding a battle axe that is sunk into the body of this antennae thing sitting next to a pile of rust. On top of the corpse of this bestial thing is rats gnawing away, and the smells, it stinks really bad. There's like rotting flesh, and daylight comes flooding into this shadowy thing, and the rats scurry away down that tunnel, this burrow that has breached into this the secret chamber here. Lying on the ground next, on the... I'm trying to get everything in the right order here. On the forehead of the metal construct man who is just laying there is a symbol. It looks like a shield with several eyes on it. That is the symbol of the Argus Legion. They were allies of the Xanthos throne, the enemies of the Infernal War, per the perspective of what is now the Dragon Emperor and the Empire.
So this was on the wrong side of the fight, or the right side of the fight?
Well, you would say the wrong side. It was on the losing side, the side that was dwarves, tieflings allied with devils that attempted to dominate the world as it's known.
And it's just lying there?
It looks to have fallen while slaying this antenna creature that is next to a pile of rust.
So it's a monster that's next to a pile of rust. Got it.
Yes. Some of the rust
Well,
is even caked onto its frilled antennae.
Oh, this seems.
What do you make of this, Renn?
I don't. This isn't good. This doesn't feel good. I don't know about the symbols and the shields. I've never really involved myself in those matters. It's not of my interest, but this is alarming. I would like to do a medicine check on the monster if I could.
Okay.
And I would like to do it. Are there any sticks around or anything like that?
There is a scraggly tree that looks like it's nearly dead, just coming up out of a crack in the ground.
She just
barely a tree, like a scraggle brush thing.
She pulls it off and then uses that to poke the monster for the medicine check, so she doesn't actually have to touch it at this point. It's like poking it with a stick.
All right. Yeah. The thing is, like, it's like poking human-sized cross between a armadillo and a cricket, and it just stinks to high heavens. Who knows how long it's been festering in here.
14.
Clearly this thing died of battle axe wound to its upper sections.
I was kind of trying to figure out more how long it's been dead.
Okay. Yeah, this thing has been in here rotting for quite some time.
Okay.
Months, you would imagine.
Okay.
It's not skeletal and desiccated, but it's not at the height of ripeness of decay.
So is it mostly carapace that's left?
Oh, I think the rats were gnawing at some juicy bits that are still inside it.
I think that's what I was trying to get to with, like, how recent the situation has been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seems some months ago this played out.
So what's up with? And I'll point to the construct. I don't think Veer is all that knowledgeable when it comes to things like this.
Well, the Argus Legion was a major faction in the Infernal War, and they had a number of soldiers, including some that were constructs of a variety of different makes. They also had trained beasts and trained, fantastical bestial creatures as well. They were actually quite important to Bazagon before the war. They served largely as militia and watchmen. They had a fleet of ships that defended the waters. They trained lots of beasts that not only served as their own guards, but also served in the Grand Colosseum for the blood sport. So the Empire has been scrambling after the collapse of some of the other great factions to fulfill those roles that the others were very competent at, that they had traditionally served. But you're looking at some kind of construct soldier of the enemy, but it's not moving. It's dead. It's inert. It's something.
I would like to take my stick and gently poke it, and just move the stick from one thing to another.
All right, you poke at the construct, and sleeper. Things go from a black nothingness into a blurring haze, and then you see you're on the ground. There's the thing that had overwhelmed your ally as you were waiting for the signal you had been waiting for a very long time for the signal to join with the troops in the fight in High Table. And then the thing had burrowed through the wall, and it destroyed your friend, and you were fighting it, trying, both of you desperately, to kill it before it just reduced him to a pile, and it unfortunately got to him, and then it went for you. And right as the first little bits of rust began to form on your shin, your stroke felled the creature, and you were overwhelmed, and there was a snapping, popping sound inside of your head. Something went wrong. And now there are two figures standing over you with sunlight pouring in. They've opened up the hatch. She's poking at you.
I roll away as I come to it to kind of scoop up the shield and like kind of drop down to one knee to kind of like cover myself with the shield and swing the axe around my head. And is that the signal? And because that's the last thing I remember, and it's seeing this creature. And who are you? You do not seem to be who I was expecting here.
Who were you expecting?
Well, we were preparing for battle, and I was awaiting the signal when this creature burst through the wall. And that is the last thing I remember fighting it.
So Veer has his gloved hands up. He's got nice clothes. I'm certain they're probably not in good condition considering what he recently swam through. But he's like, we mean you no harm. But I do believe some time has passed since you last awoke.
Then you were sent to retrieve me.
No.
Sleeper, or at least that's what we're calling you for the moment. You were waiting for Commander Vigos to come, or at least someone sent by Commander Vigos, and you were supposed to meet with, this other troop and fight off the Melissa's hold in High Table. And I mean, that's an important guy, Commander Vigos. Like, he was directly serving under Arch Sentinel Antonius Irongate. The last you were waiting to join to battle in the war.
Clearly, you were sent by Commander Vigos. What is your order?
Let's see here. How good? It's not too bad. Well, I look to Renn and just kind of hopefully try to convey with my eyes of like, let me handle this. We are
no intention.
We're leading a small strike team against one of the tiefling houses.
Excellent. Let me shake off some of this rust, and I will follow you into battle. The mission seems to have been changed, but I don't question the commander's intentions or tactical awareness.
You have not been in existence for a great amount of time. There is still much for you to learn. Clearly, this tiefling before you must be involved with the Xanthos throne, ally of the Argus Legion. He seems trustworthy.
Of course, look at me.
And he has saved you from a doom of being gnawed away by a swarm of rats.
So, point me in the direction of these vile, not you tieflings, and I will show them my axe.
Hopefully you will do more than just show it to them. Show them their insides, if you would.
Well, that was what I was built for.
Did you, are you the last of your unit?
I look over at the body next to me and kind of give it a gentle nudge. It appears so.
You and your ally were created to be elite soldiers, much stronger than typical militiamen. You were going to lend great aid in the fight.
So, where is these tieflings you speak of?
So they are holed up within one of the mazes. And they are waiting to enact a plan against another unit.
Well, then we must thwart that plan.
Indeed. trying to pull details out of thin air. And Ted does not have as much history knowledge as Veer does, so bear with me.
Oh, well, you seem to be in charge and the of this operation. What shall I call you?
Veer is sufficient, but Veraxion if you prefer.
Well, Veraxion, what is your rank?
What would be based on what I've seen here, Esper? What would be sufficient enough to feel like I would be giving orders?
Okay, well, it seems like you're trying to bluff him.
Oh, absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. Well, are you telling him that you're like a sergeant or even a commander in the Argus Legion?
Is it sergeant, lieutenant, commander? Is that kind of the?
We'll just go sergeant, commander, and then arch sentinel.
Oh, okay. Sergeant is Sergeant Veer.
Well, Sleeper is reporting for duty, Sarge.
Right. Is there as sad as it is there anything amongst your fallen unit that would aid us in our mission here?
I'll go over to to my fallen companion and see what he's got on him.
He is boots and a pile of rust.
Yeah, I'm not thinking. I'm looking at the size of the boots and the size that you wear. These look like they might be a little big for you.
Then so be it. Let us be off.
And who is this?
You exit the holding chamber that you're in into a bright, hot summer's day. Whoa, you've been in here for a long time. It was autumn when you last entered into the holding chamber.
Huh. The commander sure did wait a while to retrieve me. I'm sure he had a good reason, though.
Wars can be protracted, spanning years even.
I perfectly understand his desire to keep his best troops in reserve, but this seems a bit extreme.
He offers his condolences. There have been dangerous matters afoot.
Renn just nods in agreement, like trying just to.
What kind of form is Renn in, by the way?
I mean, I don't think she had changed her form. She kind of goes.
You're in your natural state?
I think she actually might be. She didn't actually take a form for this.
Okay.
So
standing next to Sergeant Veer is a pale-skinned woman of some variety.
Which shall I call your companion?
This is Renn. This is Renn, and since our mission is one that has a layer of stealth, they're adept at magics to be able to provide us such.
Yes, that will be helpful. I was designed for stealth.
You said you were or you were not?
I am.
Well,
and there's a grace about this construct, much more so than other constructs that you've seen, few though they might have been. Usually they are lumbering things of stone or some other thick substance. While this one here does have his plating and some hardened bits, underneath he seems to be a wrapping of living fibers, and he moves with a certain amount of dexterity.
Excellent.
Can we get overall, like an overview description of the character?
Yeah. So Sleeper is tall, kind of tall and lanky in build. It's very streamlined, actually. Probably just under 7 foot, with elaborate etchings and carvings. But all the colors on him are kind of muted, as to make him more easily to blend in. But then there's like an undertone in these etchings that speak to a divine nature if you really observe them and look at them. You can see that you may have seen some of these etchings in one of the churches. Um, his eyes, glow a soft blue color, at least the crystals that are there, and he's equipped with a shield, battle axe, and several other weapons, but uh, isn't particularly heavily armored in appearance.
Mhm.
It's mostly, like you said, those fibers that are lapped by metal plates and more stone. But even where the stone bits look a bit fluid in nature, and except for his head looks a little bit like a helm, where he's got the face covering, that comes to the nose, which you kind of see it move a little bit, very like kind of Optimus Prime like, and a little bit of the helm going on. But other than that, he's like a very sleek looking.
A sleek and agile construct indeed, as he claims he is some elite warrior soldier fashioned by the resourceful industriousness of the Argus Legion when they were still around. But maybe he doesn't seem to know that. So what's your plan, Veer? What do you...
So Veer is going to then, shift from deception into information, telling him, the maze of fire and rust is where we're going. We're going against, agents of House Dextraxi. Ted does not remember the names, but there was, several different spellcasters, and I'll deliver all of the information as best as Veer would be able to, remember, including descriptions, and all of what we literally just went through, just yesterday.
Why did you keep jumping into the dangerous water? Clearly, these tieflings must have another way to pass that creature.
How would you have gotten across?
I don't know. They must have a bridge someplace. Otherwise, they would constantly have to deal with the creature, unless it was trained. Do you think they trained it?
They are devious.
Mm. But also, it doesn't seem like a particularly great way to get in and out of your stronghold to have to swim across a waterway every time with a creature that may or may not eat you. Perhaps there's a land bridge someplace or a raft or something that they have hidden away.
Well, we could scout out the area further and look for that.
It makes a lot of sense.
It's quite fortuitous to have you along, Slipper.
I posted a comment of the names of the siblings if you're interested.
I do have one question. Given the fact that my character kind of was out in the wilderness before, not really from the city, so to speak, would I have ever seen a Warforged or had a chance? Would this be the first time I've come across something like this?
This is definitely the first time you've seen specifically this kind of construct.
Mm-hmm.
There's not properly a race called Warforged in this world.
Okay.
Though there are, as you're beholding now, such things do exist. It's just not a, how would I say this? It's not a mass-produced race that exists in the world.
Okay.
Was there something more that you were curious about, though?
No, I was just kind of thinking if she's kind of how she's viewing this as this thing that she's never seen before, coming on with intelligent advice. That was like...
It is, yeah. It's certainly a work of great artifice. That there's no question about that. So yeah, you've probably seen some other type of manner of construct before. You saw one. There was a sentry statue out front of the Dextraxi hideout, though it was not quite so. It wasn't very tough, and it was a slow, lumbering thing, and had a minor attack. It didn't even seem to have a true voice or sentience of its own. it just kind of repeated these same phrases over and over. Like pre-programmed, you might say. This one, though, is conscious. There's an awareness about him.
Yeah, I'll turn to my new companions. It is fortuitous that you came along. I don't know what that creature was that I was fighting, but it activated my, for lack of better term, sleep mode. I was designed to be brought forth and active and then kind of put to sleep until I was needed again.
Were you designed to have sticks wake you up?
You must have poked the right spot.
Clearly, Argus Legion was still working out the kinks in the design. Magic is a very finicky thing. You do remember being quite overwhelmed in the battle, though that last memory you have is like of your final stroke felling the thing before you went inert. But as you stand now, your self-repair mechanisms or just natural healing like a person, most people would have, seems to have worked. You're all in one piece. You feel vigor, you feel energy, you feel ready for battle. But what about fear? Are we talking about immediately trekking back to the hideout, like this hot instant? Or is this more of a long game that you're going to be playing?
What do you think, Renn? Do we acquire another, or do we think this is sufficient?
I'm gonna kind of leave that to you. I mean, he's really capable looking, and he's really smart, and I've never seen anything like this. Like, this is powerful. Like, she kind of looks like she kind of wants to like touch and kind of explore this, and like pulls back because she realizes you're like a sentient creature. But she's kind of amazed. But like, you're the mind here. I can provide some wisdom and some knowledge of nature and help and heal here and there. But these situations of strategy, and I am out of my depth. And she kind of probably appears to be lacking some confidence at this point, because this really has taken her out of her comfort zone a whole lot.
I think that, Sleeper is, overcompensate or is compensating for the confidence factor. And it's starring, Veer in the direction of, let's go get this done. He's, simple ideas, and he's like, boom, we got this. We should go this route. This is a possible, this is possibly all we need.
Then I'm in agreement with you.
All right. So to not have to keep the charade longer than necessary, we would probably begin trekking back the way we came to get back to the
Okay,
Dextraxi bastards.
Hasten back to the Dextraxi hideout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that you do. Why don't I pull this up, and we can take things back from here. Let's get a token for Sleeper. I have a couple. Hopefully, one will work out okay. Bear with me. It's just 1 second. Lighter. We might need to make a new token for you, but you tell me what you think about this one. I guess that's just a standard image. Does that one work, or should we get it?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine? Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a shield and a battle axe, you said. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Here we are. You all hasten back to this section of the labyrinth. The moat, murky, flowing, plodding on endlessly, flowing from somewhere deeper within the maze of fire and rust.
So this is
a moment all quiet.
This is where we encountered the creature in crossing, knowing full well that there is a giant centipede monster that we chased off on our last venture in, but it was still alive, therefore still a threat.
Are either of you skilled in woodcraft or tracking?
I can track a little bit. I have some survival skills, a bit of nature, a little bit. I can.
Maybe we can find an area that's commonly traversed. It'll lead us to how they ford this moat.
I am no tracker, so Renn, if you'd like to look for prints.
Survival.
I'd say perception. That seems good. Just to find prints on the ground.
$17.
Okay, so you look about the area. You see indications that people have come and gone, going both this way and this way, and back this way. You see indications of footsteps. Not heavy traffic, but a number of people, a few people have come and gone. Some of them seem to be fresher disturbances in the ground, as in maybe a couple days ago. Others look older, with ages of weeks or months. You also notice a faint indication of scrape marks right here, this area. Something has been scraped or slid multiple times this way.
Oh.
I want to point that out to them and see if I'm good at spotting tracks and things of this nature. I'm not always the best with other things. Do you want to put your eyes right here? I think there's something going on to how they're getting across.
So that block of stone in front of us, or directly above our heads. Yeah, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a structure?
It is. There's a room inside of there. There's stairs going up, and then you could go inside of it. It's quite collapsed though on one side, but it looks like the chamber itself. That part's holding up decently well. It's wide open.
Could we take a look inside, see if there's some kind of raft or thing that was drug in?
You look in there. There are some cockroaches that go scurrying into the corners and hiding. You don't notice any objects, nothing other than rubble, chunks of fallen ceiling and wall.
I want to start removing some of the rubble and see if anything has been maybe buried underneath of it.
Okay. You begin moving, clearing away some of the stones or bits of rubble that maybe someone has concealed or hidden something, though nothing strikes you to be of utility. Whatever it is that you're looking for, it doesn't seem to be here.
The drag marks that Renn found, are we able to see if they lead, like, is there a drag mark? Oh yeah, is there a drag mark away from the bank in a direction?
Nope. Just like they go like at their farthest extent, maybe is about right there, and like this, being drugged this way.
That's about 30 feet across, right?
Yeah.
So you need a 35, 40 foot something if they're like pushing a plank across, and that's really long to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking more like boat raft kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thinking, right?
That's what makes the most sense to me.
But the question is, where would they have hidden it?
It looks like there might be a couple other structures around here. This one would be the most obvious, but
Maybe could they possibly hit it with magic? These tieflings, do they seem to have a lot of magic at their disposal?
they do have a sorcerer and one who calls himself Fiend Color. So it's possible that they've got magic of hiding things.
Well, and also, if it was hidden here and they had to take it out, wouldn't we be seeing the same marks we see right over there, over by here? It's only by that area that we see the pushing. They would have to push it all the way out.
Yeah.
The details that you've seen, it looks like something coming from the other side of the moat, not on the side that you're on.
How deep is? Oh yeah. How deep is the embankment?
How far down till the surface of the water?
Yeah.
Just a couple feet.
And the water is very murky, right?
It is pretty murky. I don't think anyone has fully determined how deep it is. I remember Johan attempting to test it, but he had something along a pole or a pole arm, and he didn't feel the bottom of it, and no one swam down to the bottom of it. It's like more than 7 feet deep. That much, I guess you know.
Huh. Well, I could go down and take a look, but we know there's a monster in there, or some creature.
There's something that attempted to shock Renn out of their right mind.
It wasn't pleasant.
It does sound very unpleasant.
Moat monsters are not usually cute, fluffy, inviting things.
No. So, I wonder what they're using. I mean, you've been on the other side. You didn't see any rafts over there, did you?
No, we did not.
What
Nope, they saw nothing over there, though, to be fair, they didn't exactly go looking for anything.
What have you looked up and down the length of the shore here to see if there's another place to ford?
We have not.
Well, perhaps we should do that. And we could head to the east here, and maybe there's another way.
This is the way that you came from. And,
Okay.
Yep. And this pretty well blocks off.
Yeah.
You could swim this, and then you would eventually be swimming inside of a water tunnel.
Yeah.
There are other sections where they were able to see or hear the moat, but they weren't really close to this part of the maze.
What about to the west? Could we continue?
To the west, no one has explored to the west yet. Do you want to go looking that way?
I think so.
I believe
like
so.
it.
We should also try and do it quietly.
Indeed.
Okay, so you all quietly make your way westward. The stream flows for a time, and then it changes its course, bending into a different direction, flowing northbound. Do you continue?
Yeah, because that would kind of wrap around their stronghold, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
It makes sense.
Thus far, you have not seen a way on the other side. So far, you're seeing a high wall on the other side of the moat. But you can continue. You haven't gone very far.
Okay.
All
yeah,
right,
we can go for a little while.
So you continue going, and eventually you actually get a wall on your side of the bank, which is blocking off your view of the moat. You can still hear it, though. You hear the sound of running water. You continue trekking, and the passageway that you're on begins bending in a different direction, and then it bends in another direction. Then you start to feel a little bit turned around. Do you want to keep going?
No, I don't think this is going to work.
It's, I mean, it's leading somewhere, but it's starting to get real bendy.
Yeah.
Are we able to keep track of where we are, like orientation wise?
At this point, yes, you still feel pretty confident. Okay, we can just walk back and we'll get back to where we were at the entrance of the hideout. But if you press on, we'll probably have a Renn or whoever do a survival check to orient and guide and not just get completely lost in a maze.
Renn, how confident do you feel based on what we've done already?
Just kind of take a deep breath, center ourselves. I feel confident. I think do this.
All right.
Excellent. It's good we have a mistress of mazes with us.
Most definitely. Renn, would you do the honors?
Okay, survival check. She makes a mental note to refer to herself only as Mistress of Maze.
All right. What do you got?
24.
Nice.
19 plus 5.
It is a maze, and mazes are meant to be confusing and dangerous, full of twists, turns, dead ends, monsters, and traps. But this is not the worst of mazes in existence. Not even close. And you guide your party skillfully, deftly, we might say. And you all are taking care to move slowly and to slink and use cover and shadows as best you can to avoid being seen. Something shifts in the environment, Renn. You feel you're getting farther away from the stronghold, and there is something up ahead which is noteworthy in some sort of way. You've gone through a number of different bends and twists and branchings and dead ends and forks. Ahead, the ground has a orangish coloration. It's a different kind of stone. It's the same maze. You don't think you've gotten out of the maze of fire and rust, but it's a different section, maybe built in a different time and by different builders. The Labyrinth Lord has mysterious ways, but we'll maybe talk about him some other day. There's an orangish coloration to the stone of the floor, and the walls have this igneous rock look to them. Darkened, igneous volcanic rock. Hard angles here, hard blocky angles to the passageways, the tunnels, the chambers, and the open plazas. You smell, the smell of smoke is thicker here. You hear voices up ahead. Snickering. High-pitched voices and snickering. Some small group apparently is finding something hilarious.
What language are they speaking?
What language do you all know?
I know Common, Infernal, Grung, and Thieves' Cant.
It's not one of those.
Common, Juratic, Elvish, and Sylvan.
No.
Common and Giant.
No. A smattering of languages between the three of you, but it is none of those tongues.
Tara dito, a piada na mulher que sempre está no marido. Já ouvi, tu contaste várias vezes. Para de me bagunçar. Legal.
I don't know, something about burritos. I don't think we're heading in the right direction now.
So, do we see what this is?
Yeah, Renn, if you continue forward, it might eventually wrap back around and you'd be on the other side of the Dextraxi hideout. It is possible, but there's no guaranteeing of it.
It's kind of a risk for something that may not pan out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can keep going in this direction that you're in general heading right now, it seems like you might be able to get to the other side of the hideout, but you don't know. There's unknown ahead of you.
Well,
you don't feel lost. You feel confident that you could backtrack your party, and reach the other sections of the labyrinth that you are familiar with, that you have been to, that you have seen. You've even avoided maybe a trap. You have your party walk around this grating, and you're certainly spikes or flames are going to burst up out of that if we step on it. Let's go around this way. So you've been doing a great job of leading the party, but again, there's unknown ahead of you.
She kind of turns nervously to Veer. Like, you're kind of the de facto leader here. Do you want me to keep going? I can't guarantee you what the results are. I feel confident that I'm guiding us. I know my way.
Well, Sleeper seems to have a good head about his shoulders, and has offered a number of useful insights. And what kind of leader would I be if I didn't listen to every member of the group?
Well, on one hand, maybe we can sneak around and hit them from the rear of their stronghold. Perhaps they won't be expecting that. But these creatures up ahead might also prove to be opposition that we may have to deal with in order to get there. And as the Mistress of Mazes has already confirmed, we don't know for sure that this will pan out.
That sounds like a gamble, but is it a gamble worth taking? This group might be opposed by that which we are set against, or they might be allies, or might be in the middle.
Maybe they speak one of our tongues. Unseen creatures, do you speak the common tongue?
You shout out into the maze ahead of you. The voices continue their jokes, but then one of them seems to endeavor to quiet down the others. You hear following response.
Who come?
We're travelers seeking a guide.
Trouble guy. What want?
We want to find a way around the river from the northernmost tip. Do you know about the tieflings?
Tio, por que Tito tá falando? Já sei, eu não ideia nenhuma.
Like him.
Da língua comum. Come. I don't get the bad talk here. Come close.
They seem to be indicating that they don't understand or they can't hear you well, and to go forward. So directly in front of you, just real quick, what you see is you're in this passageway with high walls, smooth igneous walls. There is a little branch off to the right, or if you continue straight ahead, it looks to be opening up into a large chamber or plaza, whatever you want to call that.
I'll step forward.
Voices came from that larger area.
You got to step forward. I put out my arm to stop you.
Okay.
And I'm looking. Where are the voices coming from?
They're coming from ahead, from this larger area.
On the high walls? I want to try and see if I can spot any figures up there? This looks like a perfect spot for an ambush.
I do have an idea. Before we do that, she turns to Veer, and remember when I went into the house and turned into the tall little spider and looked around first? Perhaps before we go forward, I could just move in, see what they are, move back out. Nobody sees a tiny bug.
That is true, but that, does use some of your power, and it was needed
It
for...
does.
Yeah,
It's up to
that
you.
will help. That will help orient you all to understand about
Okay.
the layout of what you're aware of.
We do have coin to negotiate, and I will hold up a pouch and chink it.
The jingling sound of coins sparkle through the air. This is a language everyone understands.
Come, you, aquele palavra que tá.
Ren,
Come,
hold on.
come for tell me close.
I will, but I will leave my coins with my companion, and I will come alone.
Oh yeah, she's holding off now. She's wise enough to see this is working.
If there's any treachery afoot, you will not get the coins. My companions will just fall back with them, and I will approach.
Does anyone else go with Sleeper?
He said he's going alone.
All right.
I'll respect that.
So about like this. Is that good?
Yeah.
Everyone else
Towards-
back there.
I would probably go up to like 10 foot before where the tunnel leads off to the right.
Okay. Why don't I do a size?
Yeah, I don't want to
Smaller
be too
than
far
his.
back in case
Yeah.
we have to get to him.
Okay. So you see up ahead creatures that are not very big. They're certainly smaller than you are. They look to be composed, at least partially, of smoke. Long noses, mischievous, impish looks about them, lithe things, smoky fumes wafting off of them where they're there, kind of gently flapping, hovering over the ground. And they have poked out of this hazy, smoky tunnel right here. It's difficult to see through this passageway there. There's also a passageway up here, which has a steamy look to it. But they poke free from the smoke. Poke from the smoke. And maybe about like that is more like it. They look a little concerned with this powerful living construct approaching. They look at you.
I,
I'm trying to remember what that initial thing that you said was. We are looking for the river.
talk you.
Yeah, we're looking for a way around the river. Do you know of the tieflings, the horned men that live there?
We no talk good, you way, but we ask other, come for talk too, is not, no worry, is not bad you not have bad, I help, stay.
First, we must set out the terms of our agreement.
What?
We pay you coins. We'll pay you coins to lead us around the river. Gold.
Yes. Is gold, and one moment is 1 moment.
He begins flapping this way. And he continues. And he continues. And there are voices up here. and 2 additional of the creatures appear. Steamy ones, whereas the others were smoky. So all of these things are fluttering about, hovering. And this one here looks at you and he says, "You must forgive Kafraxtos. He is not very good at speaking the common tongue. I, however, have studied it for much years. Many, so many years. You are looking for somebody," he says, "and you will pay us to tell you where this person is."
Yeah, we seek a guide around the river. There's a stronghold of tieflings. We wish to get around into the backside of it if there is an entry point, and we will give you gold.
Tieflings, you say?
Do you know these tieflings?
Which tieflings you be talking about?
The Detraxi.
Dextraxi? Ah, yeah, Dextraxi, they still be alive. This is true. Dextraxi is here.
Yes, they have a stronghold.
Ah, he said this true, Dextraxi. They come to these parts not long ago. You are their enemy.
Yes.
That's okay. We don't like the Traxi. We're not their friends. We are our own friends.
So will you lead us around?
It's just you?
I have 2 companions. They're holding the coins.
They hold their coins. Hey, you can call them here. It is fine. We talk. All talk together.
I signal back the all clear. I think they're trustworthy. Can I try and insight them?
Yep.
That is a 13.
They seem perfectly trustworthy.
Perfect.
So you have offered them a coin and you look powerful. So, maybe things would be different if you were not a capable and if you were not so capable in offering them an alluring deal. If there was more opportunistic of a situation.
So I will call my companions to me.
All right. Veer, Renn, do you step up?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Come, everyone come in here. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, I don't want to force anyone's token onto a place where you weren't intending to go.
I don't want to be in a nice, convenient line in that hallway for them. So, yeah, you having me step around, totally for.
Yeah, I would have stepped up to the one that's actually doing the talking.
They seem a bit skittish, so he flitters away from you if you get a little too close. This is a steamy chamber in here. Now, the steam is not so thick where you can't see through it, but just you can see it's got the wisps of vapors running through it. This tunnel, the smoke is enough to where you have to squint, and it's there's some concealment there, and then beyond it, the smoke is just heavy, thick, opaque cloud. And it's real warm. It's a hot day. The sun is glaring down from overhead. And they've got steam and smoke. And this is just a really warm place.
So which one of your companions actually knows the way?
Okay, this is the one who's talking to you in the common tongue. He looks at you. Oh, yeah, they know. Both of them know. He points to the 2 smoky ones. This is all. He looks at Sleeper, and he looks at Renn, and he looks at Veer.
This maze is dangerous. Why are you trekking through with only 3 of you?
We are more than adequate for the challenges, I assure you.
Hey, this one here is tiefling. He points at you, Veer. What are you doing alone, tiefling?
What do you mean? I am not alone. I have my companions here.
But they are not your kind.
I don't give a reply, and that's my answer.
Renn is just going to morph her face into a tiefling and go, I can be.
Yeah, tricksy you are.
I also go, da!
Oh, yeah, I should have told you. It's good.
You are not the Traxi.
No.
Ah. The rest of your house say, eh?
That is what we wish to do to the Traxi.
Well, it's not a good thing that happened to all of you. House Kerlakashnaka. What is the name of your house?
What is it to you?
I like to know who it is I'm talking to.
I am Veer, and unless you are willing to give something for it, I am not giving that to you.
Okay.
Sleeper is conscious of the time.
I think that you are one of the tieflings that was slaughtered. Yes, maybe that is why you are blue.
Does this seem like they're trying to stall us?
Do you think it seems like they're trying to stall you?
Well, Sleeper is a little wary.
Okay, you don't have to get so hot-headed. I already live with hotheads. Let's talk about your deal. Yes? You want a way to the Traxi hideout. You're willing to pay.
Yes.
Okay. You want the southern entrance or northwest entrance?
North. We wish the northwest entrance, and I put my hand out for the pouch.
Northwest entrance. For this we ask 200 gold coin.
200? That's robbery.
For 200 gold, are you fighting alongside us?
Okay, you do not have sufficient gold. Yes, I think perhaps you are searching for gold. One time I was digging in my garden for gold. One time I was digging in my garden. I came upon a chest full of gold coins. I was going to run and tell my wife. Then I remembered why I was digging in my garden.
So you want 200 gold coins just to merely take a walk with us?
To help you strategically attack House Dextraxi, that I don't want hating me, killing me, or my friends. You see, I have friends too. I don't want to lose them.
I would like to do my own insight check on him.
Sure.
Because I'm kind of with Sleeper. This seems very... $21.
Okay. You do not get a hunch that they are stalling you. No.
Okay.
You get a hunch that they are genuinely trying to mess with you and have fun with you, and at the same time get as much out of you as they possibly can. But no, nothing seems like they're setting you up for like waiting for the allies to come lurking around the corner and stab you in the back.
Then I would like to do something to equally mess with them because I think she would just be amused by this. She hands them forward the stick she's been carrying and goes,
the stick that you poke Sleeper with?
Stick that can awaken creatures that have been critically injured and are in sleep states when nothing else works. we will give you this if you help us. It is a magic healing item.
Oh, yeah? Give me a demonstration.
Well, none of us are
Let me
injured.
see it work.
None of us are.
Which one of you wishes to be nearly killed for us to demonstrate this?
Yeah, that's how it works.
I'll pull out my rapier.
You are a testy one, you see.
A couple of them flinch back as you draw the weapon. Ah!
Or I have this pouch of 15 coins.
50! Bah! Listen, these are desperate times. Everybody is having a very bad time of it. The war was successful, they say, but many people suffer from this war. I am out of business. You think that I am some labyrinth bandit? That is not my profession. You think I'm an extortionist, wanting to pry coins out of hapless people's hands? And no, you know what my profession is. I am restaurant owner. I had a restaurant, and now it is gone, defunct, destroy, bankrupt. My restaurant was called Karma. It was wonderful. No menus. You get exactly what you deserve.
Look,
that sounds wonderful for people that eat. Yeah, so I guess we don't have a deal then.
Look,
I do
you're
not
either
want
going
to be killed. None of us want to be killed to show if this magic stick actually does what she says it does.
Fine. You are either
And what
going to
are you
assist
supposed to be
us, or
anyways?
you are going to move out of our way.
What are you supposed to be?
He's pointing at Renn here.
Some kind of elf?
I have ability that can change. It's neither here nor there. I can be what I want to be when I need to be it. I can be an elf if you need an elf. I can be a tiefling if you need a tiefling. I can be
You do not
whatever.
like to answer questions very much, I see. But
Oh.
I will forgive you. You are a pretty one. You are pretty, but you are wandering around here with these two killers. You are one of these murderer vagabonds, perhaps?
No, I'm a mistress of the maze.
Mistress? One time, I saw a pretty young woman who was homeless. I asked her if I could take her home. She smiled at me, she said yes, but suddenly she got all upset when I flew away with her tent. She said I could take her home.
Yes. I think
Okay.
Sarge, we're wasting our time here.
75
So-
gold piece, and we show you the way. And you go and you poke them in the ass.
Well, do you guys have any gold?
I don't think they're worth 75 gold, but I do have some coin.
I have a little bit of coin.
How much do you think they're worth, Sarge?
25 tops. I mean, I'm ready to just push forward and push past if need be. I think they've already demonstrated that they're afraid of just you, let alone all three of us.
Well, Commander, you're in charge. I begin striding forward. Is this the way, Renn?
It is.
Whoa, battle axe. Careful there. My friends are very nervous. The three of you are armed, and this one has drawn his sword.
I sheathed it again when they were not interested in offering up their bodies as demonstration. Look, I offer a max of 25 gold if you wish to aid us. If you do not find this deal acceptable, you will move out of our way, or your bodies will line this floor, and we will continue moving forward either way.
Veer, make an intimidation check.
I would love to do that. 18.
Okay, look. Maybe we can reach a different kind of agreement, okay? Okay, so here is what I will propose. Keep your gold coins, but bring me the ring of Dextraxi.
Why is this ring valuable to you?
It is a magic ring. It is valuable to anybody.
And what will you give me for it?
I'm giving you the way to go to the northwestern entrance to the Traxi hideout, so you can go and poke your rapier in their boom boom.
Then fine, lead on.
We have
So
an accord.
we have a deal?
Sure.
We need the collateral. Something that we can hold on to until we get the ring. We will give it back when
No.
you provide the ring.
You can have the
Yeah.
stick.
I do not want the stick. You tried to trick me with the stick. It's a trick stick.
Look, you are wasting valuable time, and you are beginning to get on my nerves.
I don't know that I have anything that you would consider a valuable collateral.
Well, maybe you go, you think for a time. We are very hungry. We are going to have lunch now. And at a different time, we can talk again. Maybe you have reconsidered.
I do not think we're going to get these guys to cooperate.
Well, then do we move on without them, or do we just kill them?
I don't think there's a reason to kill them unless you think they'll betray us later on.
That is entirely up to you, Sarge. If you command their deaths, their blood will flow.
At the talk of do we kill them, they begin flapping this way.
Flee!
Well,
Is
I
anyone,
believe we're
is
running
anyone
out of
doing
arguments.
is anyone doing anything as they start flapping away?
No, I really have no interest in killing them.
All right, so you hear them. They're back here in this really smoky room, chittering and chattering nervously amongst themselves. What do you guys do?
Do you think his restaurant served good barbecue?
I doubt it. I don't think they have enough substance of flesh to fully understand the nuance of taste.
Although I suppose they made steamed dumplings rather well.
I know some of my companions, they really enjoyed barbecue, smoked meats. I mean, I don't eat, but I know they enjoyed it. So shall we return back or shall we press on? So they did allude there is a northwest entrance.
So based off of that, if we were to kind of triangulate, do we think pressing forward or going down that passage that we just passed?
So, Renn, this is the general direction that you're wanting to go, but this is unknown. It's just thick smoke, and also this is unknown. This passageway, you haven't seen what's down there, and the steamy room seems to just be a room.
Well,
Hey, you say you like barbecue? Try this.
It looks like fire is about to shoot out of the walls. What do you guys do?
I will try to run away from the wall back into the passage we came out of
Okay.
in order to avoid the fire.
I think going down that that side passage that we hadn't been to yet
Uh-huh.
is the best course of action.
All right.
Definitely.
Why don't everybody make initiative checks?
All right.
Oh,
Let's see how fast you sprint away.
Oh, not very. 4.
30-20.
16.
4 is sleeper. 20 Veer and 16 for Renn. Okay. So Veer and Renn, you both dart this way and avoid whatever they're doing there. And Sleeper, you start, to make a run for it, but you're just not fast enough. And flame shoots like streaking across the room, a number of bolts of flame. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Well, that's not very good, but fortunately I have a thingy. It's not much better. An 11.
11 is not enough.
And
you are singed. You take 5 points of fire damage.
My danger sense is not tingling fast enough.
I thought you said you were dexterous.
I assume, though, that you run out.
I do.
Okay.
No, stealthy, not so much dexterous.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, you get out of there, and you hear them, laughing in there.
How you like that for barbecue, eh?
I bet your restaurant was terrible. That's why you ran out of business.
A moment later, fire streaks across once again. What do you all do? Do you all? Oh, sorry.
When the fire streaks across, can I kind of scream out in pain, make sounds like I'm dying, and do a deception check?
Okay.
That's an 18.
18. All right. You hear them talking in their own tongue amongst themselves. You don't hear laughter this time, but they talk like that.
Okay.
So do you want to lay out me and Renn will go around the corner?
Sure.
Renn, are you going down here?
Yep.
Okay. This passageway seems to be wrapping around. You take a glance. I'm just setting these off the table, so to say.
Okay.
Them out of the way. So it seems to be wrapping around this direction. Any thoughts?
Wait a couple minutes to see if they come. Try and inspect the sounds or not.
Okay, are you hiding right there?
Yeah, I'll go around the other corner. Past where Veer is.
So the fire, stops shortly after this. It seems to be deactivated, and you hear, their quiet voices muttering to one another. You hear the flapping of their little wings, their little wispy wings, and then you don't hear them talking anymore. They got quiet.
Okay, so I think that I whispered of your Sarge. I think they've given up on us. But I think Renn is signaling that it goes on in the right direction.
If we see them again, it's kill on sight.
As you command.
They have attacked first, drawn first blood, so they say.
Well, we tried.
We did indeed.
All right, so do you all press on this direction?
Mm-hmm.
What order do you guys go in?
You guys want me to take up the vanguard or in the middle? I mean, Renn is kind of leading us.
Well, I'm okay if Sleeper wants to go first, but I mean I can also, move, check for traps, move stealthily, all that stuff.
I always like the person that can check for traps to go first, but I know I'm doing the survival checks to keep it.
Yeah, well, I guess you could kind of do that from the middle.
Yeah, I would kind of like Veer to go. I mean, not telling you what to do, but it seems always wise to have the person that can best check for traps. And
Veer, do you want to go ahead and scout in front of them?
Sure. I will scout.
So why don't you give me a perception check?
Ooh, 19 on the die, 21.
21? That is quite nice. Okay. So I'm going to actually reveal a couple things here. So there. There might be more than that even. I think I'm going to reveal a fair amount. Yeah, that's good. Okay. That. Yes, okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so Veer has been scouting in the way that he does. What am I missing? This. There we go. Okay, cool. That's everything I wanted to show. All right. So Veer has been scouting, and as you can see, there are a couple of different passageways, though they might all be connected. And you spot a creature. You spot a monster. It is roving or wandering about in this chamber here. It has a canine, hound, or wolf-like appearance, though there is something fiendish to it. Why don't you give a stealth check, and we will see exactly how stealthy you were here.
22.
It has not noticed you. It does not seem to have been alerted to you by any sort of way. And it is sniffing, as though it's on the prowl for something to eat.
I would like to, if I can kind of like step around that corner, hit it with a crossbow bolt, step back and hide.
Go for it. Take your shot.
That's an 18 to hit.
18 hits it.
Light crossbow is a D6, right?
It is a D8. The hand crossbow is a D6.
It's going to be 15 points of damage.
15. It growls, it snarls in surprise and in probably pain as you shoot it, and then you dart back this way. Are you going right up to your allies?
Yeah, that's a 25 on the stealth.
And once again, begin hiding or moving silently. So let's take this, let's slow things down into actual initiative. And sure. Veer, you actually are at the top of the initiative. So continue. What else do you got?
All right, so it hasn't reacted yet.
Well, it is currently, but you're just not looking at it to see what exactly it's doing. It has not got a turn yet. You are the first turn.
All right. So do you do free action to kind of whisper, kind of talk?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's within reason, go for it.
All right. So I'll say that there's a fiendish hound in the room ahead, and let's see here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. All right. So I'll do what I just did. I'll pop to the corner, take a shot, and pop back another 10 feet. Okay.
You see the thing in a violent fury is starting to, it looks like it's heading this way, snarling to attack.
Do I have advantage because it doesn't know where I am?
Oh, sorry. Wait, you already made the stealth check. That's right. Go for it. Attack with advantage, yes.
All right, so that's a 22 to hit.
That is the hit, very much so.
12, 14. That's 18 points of damage.
18. As it is starting to go into its first bound or leap in the direction of the assailant, you shoot another crossbow bolt and are successful in the shot, wounding the thing yet again. It looks like it's feeling a lot of pain from what you have just deployed. Do you do anything else?
At this point in time, I'll probably stow the hand cross stow the light crossbow and pull out the rapier.
Okay. It is not going that way anymore. There is nothing but crossbow bolts of sneak attack death that way.
So, Sarge, what was all that about?
Oh, there was a creature in the room.
I'm going to move the token off of the table, so to say, because no one can see where it's at actually at the moment. Renn, what do you do?
So
You've just seen Veer shoot twice, and he seems to have injured this thing.
But it can't see it.
Nope, the wall's right there.
Yeah.
There's an open archway here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we don't know what's down there, so we're probably going to continue on the same path we've been going.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's nothing really to
It's
do
all
but
unknown.
keep moving, I would say.
So are you moving forward in the direction where he was fighting the hellhound?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just tell me how far you go.
Oof.
Dashing?
Well, I don't want to dash too far away from him.
We're all
Okay.
moving together, I would say.
Okay,
We're all
yeah.
together still.
Okay, they're all going to dash? Okay, then I'll do it. I'll go ahead and dash. But
All right. And
It looks like you turned the beast off, Sarge.
can I don't want to... Yeah, I was going to say something to kind of notify them that I'm safe on the other side. It's kind of good, but I don't want to shout out right this second across the room. That might undo things. So,
Yeah, I feel like we're probably just all traveling together with
Yeah.
Veer continue to scout for
Mhm.
traps and surprises.
okay. Veer? You
Yeah, I'll
coming
just
as
go
well?
back to the beginning, go into the front of the group, and go from there.
All right, so you're in a dash, maybe a cunning action dash.
Yep.
And that's 60 feet there. There is another open archway into yet another chamber. You still have your action.
I mean, I guess I can pop around the corner and take a look quietly.
All right, so another dash, sneaking. I suppose you actually have to take the hide action. I always forget about that. So is that okay that you just go,
Yeah, that's fine.
just kind of like craning your head? It's most definitely in there. It looks like this is something of a dead end chamber, though I believe there was one detail worth mentioning. Yeah, there is a detail worth mentioning. Roll a D100.
D100.
That's a down.
That is going to be is that a 6 or a 9? It's a 95.
That is an excellent roll. Wow. 95. Okay, and then roll once again, one more.
A D100?
Yes, yes.
Did you find the kiosk map? You are here. Villainous hiding there.
That's a 67 on the second.
Okay. 1 second as I make a note.
Rolling at 20, you find a bathroom.
The lone bathroom on the Enterprise?
Sometimes that's like the best thing you could find. Okay, and then 67.
Yes, sir.
Bear with me. Just making some notes. Actually, I would like you now to roll a D12.
Let's roll all the dice that you have not pulled out. that is going to be a 3, sir.
It's like 2D100s and a D12. I feel like you're placing a very complicated to-go order.
So what I've been having you roll for there actually is treasure.
Oh, I like
You
treasure.
see a pedestal here just in front of the wall. Atop the pedestal is some kind of ivory statuette. You see there are a couple of gemstones next to it, as well as a rolled up scroll.
Cool.
And the wounded hellhound, growling and snarling quietly, trying to deal with the pain of 2 sneak attacks.
Well,
Well, you still have a bit of speed left. What do you do?
well, I guess I'll
You still have like
slowly-
15 feet or something.
I'll basically back up around the corner.
All right, that works. Why don't we go to the creature itself? Oh gosh, it's gotten cornered here. Well, what do you do when you get cornered and you're a fiendish thing? You just kind of like go down, fight it. That snarls menacingly, much more menacingly than my pathetic cough there. That's what happens when you do weird monster voices DMing multiple days in a week. There's a snarl. Renn, you hear all this. You see Veer back up a tick.
Okay.
Renn the wise.
Not sure how wise she is. This is where she's at. So, I think I'm just going to. You backed up. Can't get through that way.
Well, I mean, you can squeeze past me if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm not 5 foot wide.
No. I'm just debating,
He is a tiefling cube.
I am debating whether or not to go after the hellhound or not. I can do it.
What would Renn do? Reach out, feel the character.
Renn would protect her friend.
Renn would protect her friend. Okay. Like maybe
So
ready a
Renn is
spell,
gonna
or if
go
some
ahead.
creature comes to threaten. Oh,
No, I'm going to get in front of him and go bear mode.
Ooh,
Big cover attack, being able to
Right.
have that and
Mama
the well.
bear. All right, Mama Bear returns. All right. There is Renn the bear. What about you, Sleeper? You've just seen one of your new allies turn into a bear.
Sarge, I was not aware that she could do that. Matter of fact, I wasn't exactly sure Renn Renn had other than navigation, but apparently it is much more than that. Well, I will follow. I mean, apparently there's
Maybe her claws navigate the flesh of her foes. There's 15 feet. You still have, I think, another 15 feet and your action. Do you want to go front of everyone? Into the fray?
let's see. Yeah, I will go and engage the creature
All right.
if I have enough movement to get
Yep.
there.
The thing snaps at you with hell-hounded jaws. And here's the bite. Snap! That's an 8. You evade it deftly.
Yeah, it gets a face full of shield.
Veer?
All right, I can move up and actually attack this thing.
Where do you want to end up at?
I would love to. Well, no, I'm not going to trap the corner. let's see here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
That's 20, 25 right there.
Yeah, I'm going. I will use my cunning action to dash and get behind it to get the flank.
Okay, a tactical maneuver into a flank. I'll give you +2 to hit.
That is going to be a 25.
That is going to be a total hit.
It's 18 points of piercy, stabby, rapier damage.
And in accordance with what the Mephits previously decreed, you indeed jump behind your foe and skewer them in the arse. The thing lets out this screech that is half bestial, half almost sentient, and it collapses to the ground, smoldering blood coming from its wounds in its mouth.
Sarge, you vanquished the foe.
Well, I do have some skill with weapons.
So
Ren said your
The
prowess is
idol,
impressive.
the idol atop the statue, the idol atop the pedestal, glares at you. Perhaps a greedful lust crackles within your devilish heart. It indeed is an ivory statuette carved into the likeness of Geryon. Geryon, who was the leader of the Xanthos throne, the pretender who sought to dominate all of Ikoria, a terrible archdevil who was slain and vanquished by Anji, who went on to become the Dragon Emperor, and his companions, the Keepers of the Silver Flame. A humanish fiend with great bat wings, a long snake tail for a lower body ending in a barbed scorpion stinger, holding in one hand a mighty horn. It is carved of ivory. Aside it is rested maybe some offering or sacrifice of 2 bloodstone gems, and there is a scroll rolled up to the other side of the statuette.
Sarge, you think it's odd that this valuable statue, is just sitting here? Like maybe it's some kind of trap.
It is possible. Could I?
It might be a trap, though it looks more almost like a minor shrine.
Could I examine it, see if there's anything wonky about it?
Most definitely. Yeah, give an investigation check.
I mean, does it look like the things are just placed there? So investigation, that's a 14.
Nothing strikes you as off or dangerous or concealed about it. It does look like some kind of small shrine in dedication to, in your mind, you're thinking, technically this was like the highest authority in the chain of command for Sleeper here. He probably doesn't know that Geryon was slain.
In that case, I'll pull out 2 of my gold coins and place them at the foot of the statue and give kind of like a military salute.
You salute Geryon, Lord of the Frozen Throne, King of the Xanthos Empire, or what was to be the Xanthos Empire. But you maybe don't know that information.
I assume I do not know that information.
If only
you definitely don't know.
If only I wasn't a jerk. He'll slay me later.
Otherwise, it appears that this is strictly a chamber with no exit.
What is there any markings on the scroll?
You unfurl the scroll. There are writings on it in an arcane script, or rather, we should say, an infernal type script. This is some manner of spell. Maybe that's all I can say. Just at your
I
first.
do
Look
speak
over.
and read Infernal.
That is true. That is quite true. Okay. You're not a spellcaster, so you can't make out much of the scroll, but it has something to do with a spell known as Enhance Ability.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe Renn would understand it. I mean, she did have the magic stick of healing. And she turned into a bear. She knows all about mazes. Is there anything Renn can't do, Sarge? Why is it Renn in charge?
And you just hear like a bear just roaring while saying they have complicated relationships with others and don't do well under high pressure situations, and it's just a bear.
Rin's abilities are quite magical and beneficial, but when it comes to actual conversing, I am the one that does it much better.
The bear just nods. But if they want Ren to take a look at it, she will morph back out of bear form.
Okay.
Uh,
I believe Enhance Ability is a spell that druids can cast. So while you don't think that a druid created this spell, it's something that you at least have enough familiarity with to know what it is and how to use it.
But alas, we have reached the dead end. Perhaps,
We'll have to backtrack.
yes.
Okay, yeah. If you all are looking towards moving along, we can certainly do that, because here is just that. Oh, there's also one more. Okay. So does Rin take that scroll? Is that what I gathered there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else they want to do before moving along?
No, since she's taking the scroll, I will actually empty out my pouch of coins at the foot of the idol.
You contribute as much as you can to the statuette of the great Lord Garyon. And then the party.
You said that there were gems on the.
Yes, indeed. There was an offering on the pedestal of 2 bloodstone gems.
Do I have any rough estimate of what kind of value those things have?
50 gold pieces each.
I know who this is, right?
Oh yes. Oh.
All right. So to try and earn some favor with Sleeper here, and attempting to profit at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and put 5 gold on the shrine. Nod my head as I do so, and then while I'm pulling my hand back, I want to palm one of the gemstones.
Just to give everyone a look, this is Gary on here.
He's really cool looking.
Yeah, he is a force to be reckoned with. But you know what is an even greater force to be reckoned with is like 5 level 19 player characters. All right, so give a sleight of hand check, and Sleeper, I don't know, if you're actively looking, you can do perception, otherwise we'll just go off your passive.
You go off my passive as a 13.
All right.
23.
The generous and, gracious, respectful, reverent Veer adds to the tribute. And Veer, clickety clack, you got a couple more gems in your sack.
I will minus my 5 gold.
That seems like a good deal, right? 5 gold for 100 gold.
50. I took the one gem.
You only took one?
I didn't want to push too hard to.
Okay. Very well. Hey, still a great deal. 5 gold for 50 gold. All right, so I think it's safe to assume you all end up over there, just kind of going back around.
Yes.
This is a small chamber here. There's an open archway leading into it. On the wall, there is the face of... it looks very similar to one of those little elemental impish things that you were speaking to previously, which I think we all know it's a method. So on the wall, in what's the opposite of relief, where it actually stands out? Whatever, I'll say bossed onto the wall. There is a method face whose expression is like this. A stone face right there.
That's clearly something that you got to poke into. Now, do we still have the magic stick of healing?
Yeah, I'll hand you the stick for that one.
So can I examine the statue, see if there's anything actually about it before I just start poking holes?
Yeah, go for it. Why don't you do another investigation check? I guess I should be asking you what check you want to make, so you let me know what you're doing.
Investigation's not so hot this time. That's a 5.
It is a stony method face who looks, I don't know, something quirky or maybe surprised. I don't know.
So
I can make the face. Where's
if I poke
yeah, like that. The mouth is in kind of an like O shape, and you look in there, and I mean, there is.
Does there see anything that looks
Yeah,
like
I mean, there's like a hole in the wall. That part is.
So if I poke the stick in, does it actually click?
Yeah, it goes in there. It goes in there a little ways, and nothing happens. But it does go in a little ways.
So, but there's no click. There's no this happens or that happens.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nay.
Well,
Is anyone interested in this to any further extent?
I don't know that that's going to lead us to our objective. But it's just a face carved in the wall, right?
Yeah. Sort of like a statue of a face coming off the wall.
I would be leery of that, Sarge, after the last room.
sure. Then let us continue on. Continue on the
Continuing
right.
on? Okay.
I keep trying to scroll on the map.
Yes. Okay. Well, this actually leads you out of this particular little encounter spot. And, we have maze sprawling with tunnels and passageways and openings and chambers. And here or there, maybe a secret, a scorch mark, some dried blood, some roaches skitter along. Somewhere off in the distance, you hear this howling noise of some creature echoing from some other corner of the labyrinth. Renn, you continue guiding your party?
Yep.
Continues to guide your party? Yes?
Yep.
Let's get another survival check.
Let's see how well I keep doing this. An 8.
An 8.
Uh-oh. That's where it all falls apart.
You don't say. Okay.
Eventually the dice rolls go the other way.
Yeah, that does happen. I don't want to forget, you all have, by this point, accrued a half milestone. So mark that down. And then...
Is there anywhere on D&D Beyond that you actually track that? Because I have not even been able to find
I would go under notes and other.
Notes and features.
Okay. Renn, you are leading your party and maybe or maybe not letting on that you're starting to feel incredibly lost. And you turn a corner, and there in front of you, just like right there in front of you, in the tunnel, is this huge, large size to be exact, mass of black ooze, a veritable pudding of black slime. And it is in the midst of like digesting and devouring some creature. There's some beast, like a boar or something to the effect, that it's in the middle of gorging upon. And then you almost like run headfirst right into the thing. Let's do another initiative check.
It's really distracting being about the stick.
Uh-huh.
21.
23.
Okay, I'm getting it.
Hey, Ren, do you know anything about these creatures?
What does it look like again? Or would I do anything?
A large black slime.
Can I do a nature check to see if I know anything about these creatures?
Maybe so. How about first roll the initiative? As
Oh,
that's
21.
the immediate thing that's happening.
Sorry.
What do you got?
21.
21 as well. Who has a better dexterity between you and Sleeper?
I have 13.
I have a 14.
That will be Renn. And then let me roll this up here. Yep. Okay. Now, you asked about a nature check.
Mm-hmm.
Great question. I would say, being that this happened so quickly and you didn't have any time to think or prepare, you would need to spend an action. Are you willing to do that?
Huh.
I mean, the obvious things, like it's an ooze. You know roughly about oozes. It's a big one. It's eating something, and there you are, and whoa, more food. So it might be worth it to spend the action. Information can often be very valuable, but it's up to you.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
So Veer, you actually go before Renn. Do you want to wait on her to start regaling you all with precious tactical information about this creature?
Sure.
Or do you have like an instinctual reaction where you're like, ah?
I'll hold my reaction until she.
All right. So Renn, roll it up and let's see what you can tell them.
Okay. I rolled a 17.
17. Okay. So this is a semi-common variety of ooze that is known as a black pudding. You've heard some bits and pieces about it. They're known to be fairly dangerous, though they're slow. They're not difficult to hit. They're slime. Let's see. Why don't I tell you a couple quick things? The natural acid that it produces is quite potent. It easily dissolves through flesh, leather, metal, wood, stone, and other. Yeah, stone is okay. It doesn't eat through stone. Yeah, flesh, metal, wood, those sorts of substances. It can eat through it pretty quickly. And then I will let you decide. Would you rather know about its like weaknesses and weaknesses and resistances, or would you rather know more about like special abilities and attacks and stuff?
Weaknesses.
Okay. Weaknesses and resistances. It's not going to be effective to hit this thing with acid, with cold, with lightning, or with slashing. Those things it'll just absorb it or take it and not really be affected by it. You're not going to be able to blind it. It's a blind thing. Can't knock it prone. You can't charm it or scare it. It's slow. It's slow and it's easy to hit. That's probably its greatest weakness. Unfortunately for you, you're right next to it. So do you have like a 1 or 2 word thing that you would shout real fast to Veer?
So, hang on one.
I imagine he has his crossbow and is like, the like pulling back the loading mechanism and is about ready to fire. You're like, shoot it! Don't run!
And you said it's piercing.
Slashing.
Yeah, slashing. Sorry. Don't slash it. Just do what you have to do, but don't cut it. We're going to be in trouble if you do.
Veer?
All right, I will go ahead and
fire at will.
Poor Will.
Oh man, I have not heard that one before. That's great.
Really? Wow, I've used that one more times than I can count.
I'm going to use it.
2 grams.
That is a 14 to hit.
14 absolutely hits it.
For 10 piercing.
All right. You shoot it for 10. Rin, you
I
could
don't
have
have
actually
an
moved. We'll say the creature's 10 feet away from
Yeah.
you. You're in a corridor, a passageway. Did you want to move back?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Ground? Okay, so you move back. You move back 10 feet. And Veer, what about you? Do you move back as well?
Absolutely.
All right. So I am getting some things here. I'm going to do something to keep this organized for me because we'll just go theater of the mind with this one. Okay. This. Okay. So Rin and Veer, do you back up as far as you possibly can?
I
Yes,
would.
please.
Yep. Okay. Yes. All right. So Rin goes back 30 feet, and Veer, do you go back 30?
45.
45? Okay.
If there's room to still keep it in sight.
Yep. I'll do a DM's roll of randomly generating things on the fly. Okay. So you are basically at the bend in the corridor. If you keep going from here, you'll like change directions and go out of sight.
Sure.
Let's move to the sleeper. Sleeper, you are like 15 feet away from it.
I will also withdraw with the rest of my companions. I envision Rin like calling out a litany of things as she's like withdrawing. And I'm like, oh, it eats all of my favorite things, including me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you dash? Do you go as far as you possibly can?
Yeah, I will dash.
Okay. So you actually turn the bend. You go past Veer and the creature. The creature just got shot, though it is a big blob and has quite a bit of substance to it. It's going to do a little bit of slugging ahead. Let's see how far. Rin, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. It looks like it's about ready to like overtake Rin. When that's as far as it can go on one turn. Let's go back to Veer.
So I will. Is it actually engaged with Rin yet?
It flows down the corridor. This big, glooping blob of dark mucus, even like little sizzling bits wherever it touches something, like maybe a bit of fungus on the wall. It's like mere inches away from Rin, like lurching up to strike at her with a slimy pseudopod.
So is it within 5 feet of her or no?
Oh yeah, it's just inches away from her.
Well, that's a natural 20.
Woo!
So
Veer with his signature move of critical hit sneak attack.
Ren turns to sleeper. This is why he's the leader.
it's 10, 16, 18, 24, 28 points of piercing damage, sir.
20. You fire it right into the mass of the stuff. It quivers and shudders, but it's still going. Do you hold your ground, Veer?
I have to.
You have to. Okay.
I'm a decent distance back from it, right?
You are a decent distance, maybe 20 feet away or something. Renn, the thing is about to lurch up right onto you. What do you do?
Okay. So, slashing bad, piercing good. Trying to think what well, unicorn form would be awesome, as we all know those things are like killer. But I am thinking dire wolf.
Okay. Renn
Because bear form goes slash.
elongates. A canine snout comes out with fangs included. Do you bite at it? Is that what I'm hearing?
Uh-huh. So let me go ahead and roll that. It's a D20 for a dire wolf. Hang on. Okay. I get a. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 easily hits.
Okay.
It's just a blob of pudding. Slow.
Okay, so it is going to be 6 damage. I don't suppose this thing could be knocked prone.
It definitely cannot. It actually kind of lives its whole life prone.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
As you chomp into the flowing acidic creature here, you feel a very unpleasant acidic bite in your own mouth. You take 5 points of acid damage.
How much damage?
5 acid damage.
Okay, got it.
If that's all you've got, it is Sleeper's chance to act.
All right.
You went dashing down the corridor, and it's actually totally out of sight for you where you are presently.
Okay, I will move back to see where the rest of the party is.
Okay, so you move back. Well, there's Veer. He's kind of at the corner in the L shape of the corridor. And then if you want to keep going, you can go like 10 feet past him and be like.
Yeah, I just want to get Renn in my line of sight.
Yep. Okay, so you're in between Veer and Renn, and she's a wolf, a big primordial wolf thing, chomping on some acid.
All right, I will charge up rage. I drop the axe and pull a javelin.
Mm-hmm.
I begin stabbing it with the javelin.
Are you flinging the javelin?
Oh no, I'm just stabbing it.
It's not within your melee range at the moment.
Oh, I can't get close enough.
Let's see. If you move 30 feet, it's still 10 feet away from you.
Okay, then I will just throw it.
And you said you entered into a rage state?
Yes.
Do you make a sound? Did you say a battle cry? Is anything happening?
All the etchings on me just flare to life all of a sudden as radiant energy kind of pours out.
And
I will throw the javelin at it as it's infused with divine fury. 17 to hit.
Easily.
And let's see.
Even with the wolf right in front of you, it is no trick to hit this thing.
All right. Let's see. That is 4 points of damage. All
right.
I'm not going to get any bonuses because I am not actually attacking. I'm not attacking it in melee. It's not close enough. I just need to see.
Yep. The javelin skewers into it.
It doesn't appear I do extra radiant damage though. But it won't take the rage damage. So another 8. So a total of 12.
Woo. Ooh. All right. Well, that is significant. The thing is being skewered by crossbow bolt and javelin and chomped by dire wolf. Though it is a slow thing. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do another wonderful DM roll of randomly generating everything on the fly, which I'm quite fond of, by the way. Okay, well, that did not turn out well on the side of the ooze. Okay, well, it doesn't have a quick crack to escape into. Well, what does it know? Surely it can take down this wolf as easily as it just took down that pig. Here is a strike at the dire wolf in front of it. To hit. 16? 16?
Ren, does a 16 hit you?
16 does hit me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was imagining it probably hits the dire wolf. Remember that acid you got a little taste of?
I'm trying to block it.
Burn, baby, burn. All right, we've got a total. Part of this is bludgeoning, and the rest is acid. 25 damage total.
Ow.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm down. And I realized what a horrible, horrible decision wolf form was. But I was out of spells.
So does that go through your wolf form and then through you?
Oh, wolf form, yeah. No, I forgot about my. Okay, my wolf form is down. Actually, I am just all over it right now. I'm still technically wolf form. I had the wrong wolf stat up. I am technically up, but barely, and I am a whimpering wolf.
Yeah, I was gonna say that take down a dire wolf. That quite.
No. I had pulled up the regular wolf stat on the other one. So
yeah, regular wolf. That would have fair.
Yeah, regular wolf stat was bad for me. This was good.
Yeah, you took 5 when you bit it, and then it just did 26 there. So 31 to you should have a little bit left on a dire wolf.
Well, I did what every good druid should do, and I have like a tab full of available animals. So it just
there you go. Renn's menagerie.
That's cool.
Veer, it looks like your friend in wolf form is starting to get into some trouble. What do you got?
I will make my attack roll and hope for goodness. So that is going to be a 16 to hit.
Most easily a hit.
If 20 damage.
If you're in double digits, you're probably hitting it. Just throwing that out there. 20?
I know, but 20 damage, yes. 20.
Woof. That is fantastic shooting. You drive the crossbow bolt into the mass. Again, it shudders, quivers violently, though it continues. Renn the dire wolf.
Okay. So, once again, I realize in hindsight this probably wasn't my best idea. So, let's see. I can't back up without taking an OP.
You could revert and disengage.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair thing. I'm just debating if it would be worth it to try to stay in this form at all. Not really. So I am going to do exactly that.
Well, it still has hit points.
Renn, you return back into your changeling form is what it sounds like?
I'm going to stay in dire wolf form, but I can still disengage as a dire wolf.
That is true.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep the form and go back.
All right, you make a defensive maneuver and head backwards. You just take a short shuffle back, and there is Sleeper. Do you want to keep going past him?
Yeah, I give him like a pat, like with my wolf paw. You got this, and I'm totally.
It's like a tag team. All right, and then past Sleeper, there's a little bit of open space. Then there's Veer. He's at the elbow of the corridor. Beyond Veer, you turn and you go out of sight. How far do you want to go?
Oh. I mean, I'm going to go as far as I can.
All right. Dire wolves probably have like 40 or 50 feet, so you go beyond
Yeah, they have a 50.
50. Okay. So you go darting in dire wolf form, and you pass Veer. You're going down the corridor. You've gotten a total of 50 feet away from the ooze. That's a pretty good distance. And Sleeper, does that mean you then like go headlong and engage the thing in melee?
Yeah, that appears to be what we're doing. So I threw a javelin at it. Is it possible to retrieve that javelin from it and then stab it with it?
No. The javelin is currently doing this.
Yeah. We learned a thing today.
Looks like butter on a hot skillet.
Yeah, so we pull another javelin and attempt to stab it again. Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does hit.
Yeah, it oozes. So that's 9 and some radiant damage to that. So 9, 13 points of damage.
Dave always likes fighting, oozes because, his bad dice rolls don't mean anything.
That is true. That is true.
You skewer the ooze, and this is damage. This javelin, by the way, it has a -1 to damage rolls now.
Yeah,
and that was a pretty strong skewer. The thing is, starting to spasm and blorp in erratic ways. It flings maybe in almost a death throw fashion a pseudopod at you. Maybe the pseudopod even like detaches from its body, so it's just this like splatter of gunk flinging right at you. This to hit is 12. You duck out of the way. It splats against the wall. Veer?
Let's see if I can do what I did last time. No. That's going to be an 11 to hit. And
11 to hit. You drive one more crossbow bolt into the form of the thing. It spasms its last and just goes completely immobile. Bits of it, sliming out, sludging across the floor. There's this mostly digested pig or something in the middle of it. Maybe some ribs like pop out as the slime, begins to level out with the floor. The whole corridor is just this disgusting, slimy mess. But you've defeated the Black Pudding. Good on you all. You each have achieved a milestone.
that was gross. There's no other way to put it, but that was gross.
From a distance, and the wolf nods.
Sarge?
That was kind of gross. I agree. What's up?
No, I'm just saying, Sarge, that was nasty. I think I finally found something I might be a little afraid of. Did you see what it did to the wood?
I'll have to get you some new javelins.
I want to use like what's left of my javelins to kind of like scrape stuff out of the way so we can keep going the way we're going.
All right. So you scrape something of a path that's not going to maybe corrode at your boots, and you skirt around as best you can and continue on your way. Is that what I'm hearing?
Indeed.
So
You're all lost. You feel turned around. The shadows of the walls of the labyrinth are starting to grow long. And your stomach grumbles. Those of you that eat, it's starting to get late. Night will be falling sometime before too long.
Can we try to find somewhere to take a long rest?
You can certainly try.
I always love that response. What kind of?
What are you all doing? Do you have any specific strategy that you're using, or is this just Renn? Our lives are in your hands. Guide us to a safe ledge.
That is like the worst strategy you can have right now.
yeah.
I mean, looking for something that is like a cave or dead end alcove, something that's like, all right, things can only come at us from one way. Is what
Can I do a
what
check
have.
where I am?
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely roll. I guess it'd be another survival check, and what you'd be doing with this is trying to locate Veer's suggestion of
I am not trained in survival. Is
a
sleeper?
dead end.
Survival? No, I'm not trained.
I am. I don't know in wolf form. It should still actually be my standard stat. I rolled a 14.
Renn, you lead your party on for a few moments, attempting to find a suitable place for you all to hunker down. And I am rolling the roll of rolls.
Oh no, the roll of rolls.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, you find a dead end. There's really nothing fancy about it at all. There's no spikes jabbing out of the wall. And you don't see any monsters, lurking around and drooling all over the place. So that's something. It's literally just a patch that ends in a dead end. This is maybe the best that you can find.
Shall we?
Well, they can only come from us from one way.
Shall we set a watch and take a rest?
Yeah, I will watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all hunker down. You're hurt. You're tired. You're a bit wounded. Maybe some pain. Hungry. You eat what victuals you have, and drink what drinks you have. Maybe you have other little rituals that you like to do when you rest. You all tell me.
I will just stand in the corner quietly observing.
Sleeper seems to not mind tedium or long stretches of time merely observing an area.
I'm going to revert back to form, take out some things I bought at that instant shop a while back, and just try to regain myself.
I imagine that Veer tries to clean up and look as presentable as possible in the the given situation. Tries to hold on to some of that lost nobility, if you will, even in dire circumstances such as these. But eventually needs to pull out blanket and get some rest and trust that this whole deception thing against this crazy creature is gonna last, and he doesn't chop me a bit.
For little things.
Yes, you certainly hope that in the middle of sleeping he does not figure out the ruse and go berserk on you. But you do what you can to maintain your composure, to preserve your dignity, clean yourself up, to nourish your body and your mind. And Renn, though you are a ways away from the Splintwood, the great forest of Bazagon City, you do what you can to center yourself, to somehow relocate your calm, your inner peace, the steadiness like roots growing deep and thick through rich earth. The night passes by. The temperature drops, so it does not get it doesn't get cold. It's summertime, so it stays relatively warm throughout. At a couple times, you do hear things going bump in the night, and you hear a howl from some distant corner of the maze of fire and rust. You hear a whooshing sound like the gout of some fire trap being triggered, but nothing is, directly nearby any of you all. And the entire rest passes by with nothing accosting or otherwise molesting your party. You all recover 2 hit dice. I don't think anyone has a wound on them, so no exhaustion needs to be recovered. You can expend hit dice to regain hit points if you so choose. You recover spell slots.
Okay.
Got all my spells back. Awesome.
We all know you've got charm at will, so no spell slots needed for you.
Hey, that's just +7 to persuasion. That's all.
Perfect.
Anyone spending any hit dice?
Yeah, I'm going to spend one.
Okay,
Actually, no, I'm pretty good.
you good? Okay, and Veer, no need.
No, I did not get hit this day.
Okay, great. So you all are in relatively decent shape. All right, what's the next step? You're still lost. Are you trying to still locate what has been described as the northwest entrance to the Dextraxi hideout?
What is the ground like when we're where we are?
Hard ground. Yep. It's some kind of orangish colored rock. It's not so pretty to look at, but some kind of igneous rock. Relatively flat, but it is irregular in places.
So there's no spot close that we can get to, like, even hard pack soil.
Okay. 1 second. There was a stretch, just a little ways back that way, and you'd pass by one of these open sections. And maybe you'd call it a chamber. There's no roof to it. And the ground there, the rock was all busted up, stripped away. There was dirt. There was some gravel, some, bits of scrubby plant maybe coming out of some parts of the ground or cracks in the wall.
Because I want to try and get to a spot and sometimes visualizing what you have allows you to easier navigate your way. Mm-hmm. So if we were to, as best a recollection, draw our map, or our path, if you will, not a detailed map,
okay,
to see if that can possibly give us another chance of reorienting ourselves.
Okay.
You
all back up a short ways, go through one tunnel, take a few bends. Oh, wait, no, that was dead end that way. That looks like a trap over there. Heard something grunting there. No, be quiet. You pass through some sections, and then you come into an open, broken down plaza, for lack of a better term. Veraxion makes usage of the dirt to make some drawings, draw a map to try to gain a visual of where you've gone, where you've explored, where you've encountered things. Very nice. Veer, make some kind of skill check. Seems like intelligence to me. Maybe it's investigate, or maybe you have something else you can think of.
So this is one of the things that, and I'll throw my thought pattern out to you and see if you agree. This is one of those weird things that I feel like falls under history. Whether you talk about tactics or structure, things that have already passed. So I'm vying for that.
I'm sold. Go ahead.
Excellent.
This is Sleeper's first indication that we might be lost.
So that is going to be a 16, sir.
Very nice. So you take some time. You do this. And you all probably have some morning rituals you do. Renn probably communes with primal spirits and nature to prepare some spells. And, I don't know, Sleeper stretches out or something. You probably all went to eat some light meal or breakfast or something. So you take some time. You pause, you slow it down. Veer draws us out. He consults with Renn, and a lot of it makes sense to you, Renn, and it does help you to get a visual. He imparts this strategy onto you. So whether it's Renn or whether it's someone else, whoever rolls that next navigation check, the survival, you'll have advantage on it.
It's going to be Renn because neither of us are proficient.
No stress, but I have advantage, so yay.
Yeah, we can just do it as Renn. We could do a group check if you all want to equally put your heads together and equally guide. Or you can just say, Renn, we're going to follow you. Lead the way.
I think Rin with advantage is probably better than our 3 rolls.
My survival is literally just a roll of the d20. So
Okay. Yeah.
18.
Very nice. Quite nice. Veer's strategy there was a good idea. It proves to work to your benefit. Throughout the morning, you are leading your party here, and nary the sun has not even reached high noon when you have done this way out of the way, long ass roundabout, multiple backtracking, dead end, trial and error deduction, and you come looping all the way back around to this kind of large enclosed structure that's built into the labyrinth itself. The stonework is back to that kind of grayish granite look to where you'd seen before. Maybe if you listen real carefully, on the other side, you can hear the flow of the stream. And there is another entrance. And indeed, it is on a northwestern section of the structure. And it's a quite different looking entrance. As you saw that other one, they had very roughly broken through the wall. Whereas this one looks like a proper entrance. It doesn't even look like tiefling craftsmanship. It looks dwarven. Blocky geometrical architecture. It's held up very well. It's not fancy or noble, but it's a solid, proper entrance. Even has like this stone swiveling door, which is open. And as you all creep and you pick your way through this, you quickly find out House Dextraxi, they have hightailed it out of here. You didn't get here fast enough.
Son of a...
Yeah. So this leaves us with some questions, or rather some decisions to be made. One decision is, do we just go back to New Starbreeze, go back to Master Paratiri, and tell him that this is what we were able to do? We took out 3 members of House Dextraxi, but we didn't get the siblings. We injured them, but we didn't take them out. And we didn't kill them. We didn't arrest them. Where do we go from here? That's one option. Another option is you maybe explore this dungeon. Who knows? Maybe you feel like delving, and you've just opened up a structure here. You could adventure here. Maybe there's treasure to be found. Maybe there's clues to be found. Maybe they left something here. Or perhaps there's a third option that you all can think of. Maybe Renn's like, forget all this. Come with me back to the Splintwood, and we can meet with like a druidic moot and think about doing something different with our lives.
It's dryad time.
So
I would vie for clues and potential treasure herein. That would be my Ted's vote.
Okay,
As you command, Sarge.
Renn?
I've given leadership. I'm fine with that.
Renn's fine with that. Okay, so I think this is a good pausing point, and we can leave things a bit cliffhanger, a bit mystery. It seems like you are faring decently well. You've survived the escape from the Dextraxi lair, so that much was a success. So there's that. There's a new dungeon ahead of you. Maybe that is a tale for another time. So,
Sorry, I got distracted by the comments.
all right.
Another avenue has just been revealed.
There's always another avenue. Great. I think that's a perfect pausing point. I think on time we're hitting the 3-hour mark here. So thank you guys for playing, and we just might have another session at some point in the future. Thank you everyone who's been watching and following along. Glad to have you with us for the ruins of Bazagon.
Yep. Thanks for running.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
My pleasure as always. See you next time, everybody. May your adventures be many.
Stay nerdy.